Disclaimer, the comments made in this video are intended for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to offend anyone. Welcome back to the series where we witness ideological theater disguised as activism. Buckle up, this is modern activism in 4K. First up, a couple realizes their relationship isn't strong enough to survive a simple yes-no immigration question.
Support the deportation of illegal immigrants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay. She's saying she doesn't.
If they're illegal, then yeah.
Do you not support the deportation of illegal migrants? And why not? He does and you don't.
It's not illegal.
Okay. If someone crossed over the border illegally, should they be deported?
I'm not too sure about that.
Hope I didn't just ruin their relationship.
The funniest part is not that she disagrees, it's that she genuinely thinks the word illegal is morally too harsh to apply to illegally entering a country. These people don't debate definitions, they reinvent them. Reality must bend before her ideology. The boyfriend simply chose survival. Now check this out. The moment an Antifa sprinter learns that running from the police is not part of their cardio routine. One dude in gray thinks he can outrun the NYPD, but ends up face first on the pavement while the cops calmly turn his freedom march into a full-on wrestling match. Lesson learned. Shouting at police doesn't cancel out physics or handcuffs. Here we have another Antifa warrior who thought chaos was a career path.
Roll in the van! KT, let me get the GoPro. Reload. We got a good lawyer here. We got a lot of lawyers. We got Aaron. Where's Aaron? We got lawyers. We got Aaron. We need you. We need a lawyer. We will win. The bad guy. You were like this. No, get away. Let me see that. I got video. I'll send it.
He came swinging like he's starting the revolution, but the only thing he started was his arrest record. The cops didn't even break a sweat. They just let gravity do the job. One slip, one scream, and suddenly the fight the power chant turned into please let me up. Next up, everyone at this protest loves human rights for all. Until the reporter asks, even the humans inside the womb?
Human rights, what do you think about them?
We're in favor of them.
For everybody?
Yes.
How about the unborn? Do you support human rights?
Yes, of course.
For everybody?
Yes, of course.
Even people in the womb?
Well, It all depends on if they're actually a baby or not.
Science says they are.
Well, it depends on what science you're talking about.
96% of all biologists, according to the NIH. Thoughts on human rights?
I'm all for them.
Yeah, me too.
Especially now, right? Yeah.
For everybody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, even the unborn?
An unborn what?
Unborn in the womb. Yeah, no rights for them. Thoughts on human rights?
That's what we're here for.
For everybody, right?
Yes.
Including the unborn?
No.
Everyone has autonomy to not be killed, I think.
Freedom means choice. You have no argument. Stop taking rights away. Get out of here.
Human rights for all is a great slogan until you ask which humans count, and suddenly the loudest defenders of humanity become allergic to specificity. They want the moral high ground without the moral consistency, and they scream the loudest when they're exposed. Nancy Mace asks, "What is a woman?" And the woke activist immediately blue screens.
What is a woman? What is a woman? Do women have penises?
So again, I believe that women.
Democrats have gone so crazy. Women can have penises. That's not a thing. That's not biology. It's not science. Tranny. I don't really care. You want penises in women's bathrooms, and I'm not going to have it.
There are some women who were assigned a
You
female.
say you're here to defend women. You say you're here to defend women, but shouldn't you be able to define one? Shouldn't you be able to define one if you're for women's rights? You sound like a lunatic. What is a woman is the question.
I'm not sure I understand the question here.
If you can't even define the category you're demanding access to, you shouldn't be leading the charge to abolish the boundaries around it. This is what happens when language becomes optional and feelings become law. You end up arguing for rights you cannot even describe. This woman thinks she lives in a fascist dictatorship.
Well, what do you think? This is a fascist dictatorship?
Yeah.
How can you guys protest like this in a fascist dictatorship?
Do you think that a fascist dictatorship automatically kills everyone who protests them? There are levels to a fascist government. What do you think happens in LA and Chicago when he has the National Guard and ICE go and beat up protesters?
Well, that's after they set police cars on fire and they attack police officers. Yeah, I mean, I've reported in that. A lot of my colleagues have. So
I'm sure you have lied about it lots.
Footage doesn't lie, though. People who are instigating, attacking, and being physically antagonistic and violent against federal agents are arrested.
In Portland, they go and bow over people who are just standing there doing nothing.
Is this a fascist dictatorship, in your opinion? You guys think it's curious that you're allowed to protest 10 feet from the White House in a fascist dictatorship?
Not really.
Okay, why is he not arresting you guys if he's a fascist dictator?
Because he hasn't consolidated enough power to actually do that yet.
Maybe he's not a fascist. Maybe he's just somebody you disagree with who's president. Is that possible?
I can disagree with someone who's also a fascist and the president.
Calling people a fascist is very, very strong language, right?
Yeah,
It kind of leads to people hating people and wanting to...
language for strong situations.
You think Charlie Kirk was a fascist? A lot of people called him a fascist. Did he deserve to get killed?
No, he didn't deserve to get killed, but he was a fascist.
I'm glad we agree on that. Maybe we can just end it there. You know, we don't no political violence. We disagree. I wish you guys the best.
While live streaming calling someone fascist is not a claim anymore. It's a reflex. The minute reality interferes, just slap the label on the person correcting you. It's emotional insurance. Because if everyone who disagrees with you is fascist, you never have to explain anything, ever. The No King protest explains Obama deportations were wholesome. Trump deportations come with helicopter SFX.
Do you think that Trump is a king?
I don't think he's a king because he's not smart enough to be a king.
We're America. You rule because we tell you to, because we ask you to, not because you tell us that you will.
What's an example of that you guys are concerned about that he's done?
The ICE raids and deportation, disappearing of people.
President Obama deported 3.1 million illegal immigrants with ICE when he was president. Is that acting like a king or a totalitarian?
I think the big difference is helicopters landing on top of people's apartment building and kids being thrown out in the dark with pajamas on, left without their parents who've been taken away. I think it's a very, very different situation.
Taking away due process, taking away the voice, taking away, like I said, the things that we hold to be sacred, such as the justice system, not allowing trials, no communication, are things that Obama would protect and held sacred, even despite his attempts at anti-polarization, you know, moving across the aisle, making concessions. These aren't concessions. These are movements of terror.
So it's the way that he's doing it that's different. ICE detention centers, which Obama also used. So I'm trying to understand, like, what's the critical difference there?
Obama is a man who went to law school. That is somebody who maintained professionalism. It's just the rhetoric, it's the movement, it's the type of divisive language that the GOP has been pushing since 2016 to get us to all hate each other and to fight when they're the ones that we should be fighting.
This is performative moral panic. Calling someone a king because you dislike a policy is rhetorical inflation. Pointing out past deportations. Suddenly it's never about proportionality or law. It's about starring roles. They want to be heroes in a tragedy where nuance is the villain. Coming up, we've got a coffee shop moment straight out of Clown World.
Oh, this is nuts. What are we even talking about?
ICE has detained people at their court hearings. What does that do? That actually discourages undocumented people in our country who plan to go to the courts, right, to make their case, to avoid doing that.
But I think the counter argument is that these are undocumented immigrants who shouldn't have been on U.S. soil in the first place. And also, I want to say that people have every right to make an asylum claim, but they don't have every right to make an asylum claim in the United States. For example, if you're from Honduras, actually under international law, you make an asylum claim in the first country you arrive in.
I've heard that.
There are,
right.
let me see, if you look at a map, there's Mexico, there's the United States, there's several routes you can take. It's not just one, right? And so if there are 7 countries between the United States and your country, skip all the 6 countries in between just to pick the United States.
Tim Kennedy orders a drink for his wife, and the barista decides to play language police. She tries to swap wife for partner, like marriage just got banned by Starbucks. Joe Rogan's reaction says it all. When reality meets woke word games, common sense wins by knockout. Now for this one, we've got a college activist who came ready to rant but forgot to bring the facts.
Tired of straight white men having the power and everything, you know, and it's like, we as women of color, as like students at this university, like we are very much capable of certain things, and we don't have the same privileges that are offered to straight white men.
And I've been hearing that from a lot of the ladies that I've been talking to today. Talk to me about what some of those privileges are that, you know, straight white men have that you don't have. Talk to me about that.
I think I don't really know. Have you ever experienced like a specific instance? I don't know, but I also need to go. I know, I do need to go. I'm sorry.
She starts off loud about straight white male privilege, but the second she's asked to name one, it's crickets and panic smiles. You can almost hear her GPA dropping. Turns out, when you remove the slogans, there's not much left but awkward silence and a quick exit. Here we have a politician who didn't come to play, he came to end the buzzwords.
I would also ask him if he would like to define the word woke. I asked one of his colleagues as well for that definition, and I'd like to see what he has to say. Thank you.
And as for the definition of woke, woke has one purpose, only one purpose. Plenty of pretexts, but only one purpose: control. It is designed to divide people by race, by gender, by ethnicity, by religion, by vaccine status, and any other way that they can divide people into groups. Because why? Then you can justify having a government to control all those groups. No more woke. We need freedom.
When a liberal reporter asked Pierre Poilievre to define woke, she clearly wasn't ready for a real answer. He broke it down so clean that even the slogan started shaking. By the time he said, "No more woke, we need freedom," the entire narrative packed its bag. Here we have a group of Antifa heroes who thought blocking traffic would bring down the system.
Who the fuck's he think here?
Not over yet.
Police, protect the fascists! No, they're putting the fascists in the van, you silly dick.
Fascists is in the van, not what it is.
Fascists in the van. You're wearing a mask. You're down peaceful protest. You're the Nazi.
I feel like I need my right. I need my right. I'm free.
Your brain's a mush.
I just got me. You're
the fascist. And when you're in a terrorist organisation,
you're listening again. Oh, you're listening again.
Bye.
See you later.
You're the Nazi. You're wearing the black shirt.
You're the fascist. Fascist. You're the fascist. Don't worry, the fascist is in the van. The fascist is in the van now.
Guys, stop antagonising him.
They came out shouting about fascists, waving flags like they were starting World War III. But when the cops politely told a few to hop in the van, suddenly the revolution turned into a spectator sport. Next up, we've got the classic Antifa performance art moment.
Where's the Mexican flag? Bring that shit to them. He wasn't destroying property.
He's being arrested.
It's a speech. It's a form of speech. That's
They just arrested this guy after burning the American flag. Many on the Antifa side, very angry. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at TimCast. I'm here on the ground reporting in Los Angeles on May Day.
A masked hero in a red shirt decides the best way to show rebellion is by burning an American flag, complete with a hammer and sickle cameo. The cops stroll in and suddenly the revolution hits pause. 1 minute you're waving flames, the next you're in handcuffs while your friends argue that free speech includes literally setting things on fire. Here's another protester who calls Biden fascist, then uncalls him fascist, then runs away before she has to define fascism again.
Trying to figure out what fascism means. Do you have a definition for fascism? You guys are out. Well, you guys are protesting fascism. I literally see fascist. So.
Fascist is when you think you don't have to be held accountable to anybody. Like you're a king. Like
Joe Biden wasn't held accountable to anybody when.
Well, no, he wasn't. No, right. But I mean, all of the presidents.
So is he a fascist?
Yes. Well, no, not a fascist. I'd say that he's a warmonger.
Kamala actually didn't hold him accountable either. So is she a fascist as well?
I don't know if I'd call them fascists. I'd say I'd call them.
They didn't hold anybody accountable, and if that's what fascism means.
Are you here being what about? Like you don't care about the current fascism that is actually happening? You'd rather focus on the past rather than.
Well, you said the fascism that is
happening now. Now you were asking me what's fascist, and I told you.
You're saying fascism that is happening now. What is fascism like?
Well, they are destroying democracy. They go to the Voter Rights Act. They are trying to make it so that he can have a third term even when that's unconstitutional. And
the Voting Rights Act is gone, so that means nobody can vote anymore. Certain groups can't vote.
I'm not here to educate you.
Okay, thanks. Hopefully I can Google it.
If your definition of fascism changes every time someone challenges you, you don't have a definition, you have a mood. Fascism in this worldview is not a political structure. It's just a label they slap on whoever they emotionally dislike at the moment. Next, a woman argues that breaking into a country is not a crime because her kids were born here.
You don't have family who's dealing with that shit. Oh, legally, what's legally? Tell me right now.
Like me, I came to the U.S. legally, and my folks came here legally. And I know him. He doesn't have a problem against migrants. He has a problem against illegal immigration and anybody that doesn't enforce the laws. When you come into the country illegally, what does that mean? What does illegally mean? It's 8 U.S. Code 1325. You break laws. It's that simple.
I'm not going anywhere because I was born here. My children were born here. It's so not. And Mexicans aren't going anywhere.
This is where woke logic becomes fantasy. We now have activists insisting that illegal is just a mean adjective, not an actual crime. The rule is simple. Feelings decide legality. The law is bigoted. And citizenship apparently now works retroactively through your great aunt's birth certificate. Another girl says she's disabled, wants free healthcare, and refuses a free medical diagnosis because capitalism is bad.
I didn't have access to proper healthcare or even access to a job that would sustain me as a disabled person. I'm mentally ill because I am disabled in a capitalist country.
Who qualified you as somebody that's mentally ill?
Me and my doctorate team.
My trouble is, in many cases, somebody you and I look up to will say something to us that we choose to believe for the rest of our lives. You're mentally ill, you're poor, we get to choose to buy into that or not.
So you're saying I'm not mentally ill or I'm not disabled?
saying you are or you're not. I would challenge it to go a little bit deeper to see if there's anything you can do about it.
I don't have access to a solution to my disability as someone with a connective tissue disorder. It's genetic.
You can't find a specialist.
I can't find a specialist
Is there
for who I
anyone in your
am.
life that's willing to pay for a specialist?
They would if they had
Anybody
money, but
would you be okay if I pay for a specialist for you to go see?
Yeah.
I'm going to have you go see 2 specialists, but would you also be open to seeing somebody else I choose as a psychologist?
No.
You're not.
No.
So
you're choosing who gets to determine what my mental health looks like. No.
This is the perfect example of how victimhood becomes identity. If solutions appear, the entire narrative collapses, so solutions must be rejected. She needs the problem more than she needs the cure. Patrick offered resources, she chose self-pity. That tells you everything. Up next is a meltdown straight from the Rainbow Crosswalk circuit.
Breaking news, this recirculated video of this woke woman trying to get a preacher to leave her neighborhood is going viral. Check this out.
This is the neighborhood, and you are not welcome.
That's why I need to be here. You need Jesus, man. He can save you. He can give you a new heart. God can give you a new heart so that you love what God loves. No, that's irrational. What you're doing is irrational.
It is the most rational thing I've done.
You should love the proclamation of the truth of God.
A woke woman tries to cancel a street preacher by declaring, "This is the gay borhood, and you're not welcome." His calm, "That's why I need to be here," hits harder than her entire Scream symphony. 3 shrieks later, he's still peaceful, she's still losing it, and logic once again walks off with the win. Take a look at this one. A couple shows up at a Bernie rally, ready to talk about how awful the country is, but apparently forgot the homework.
Why are you out here today to the Bernie Sanders rally?
I don't like what's going on in our country right now. I'm just kind of disgusted by it.
What's the biggest risk?
Oh gosh, what would you say, Dan? Well, I'll let you speak to that.
I don't know. I don't really care for the language that's being spoken right now in the country.
Can you give any examples of specific language?
Let me think about that.
So many things, I don't even know where to start. I would say, oh gosh, Dan, help. This is...
What's changed over the last couple months post-Biden administration for you guys?
Oh gosh. Once again, where do we start? You want to... Okay, you go for this one.
Just a whole list of things I can't think of.
Every question from the interviewer turns into a group project of confusion. So many things I don't even know where to start, she says, which is woke speak for I didn't think this far ahead. The only thing missing was a teleprompter and a safe space. Now check this out. We've got a talk show moment that should be framed in the How to End a Debate handbook.
This is nuts. What are we even talking about?
ICE has detained people at their court hearings. What does that do? That actually discourages undocumented people in our country who plan to go to the courts, right, to make their case, to avoid doing that.
But I think the counter argument is that these are undocumented immigrants who shouldn't have been on U.S. soil in the first place. And also, I want to say that people have every right to make an asylum claim, but they don't have every right to make an asylum claim in the United States. For example, if you're from Honduras, actually under international law, you make an an asylum claim in the first country you arrive in.
Yeah, I agree with
And there are, let me see, if you look
Right.
at a map, there's Mexico, there's the United States, there's several routes you can take. It's not just one, right? And so if there are 7 countries between the United States and your country, you don't skip all the 6 countries in between just to pick the United States.
One woman tries to defend illegal immigration like it's a misunderstood hobby, and the other calmly reminds her that asylum doesn't mean skip 6 countries to get to America. The look on the first woman's face says it all. Argument deleted, logic installed. Here we have the perfect snapshot of Antifa confidence meeting reality.
No fascist USA! No Trump! No KKK! No fascist USA! No Trump!
No KKK, no fascist USA! No Trump! No KKK, no fascist USA! No Trump!
A group of keyboard warriors thinks chanting "No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA" is going to move mountains. Instead, the police line slowly shuffles forward like a wall of reality, politely reminding everyone that yelling louder does not equal courage. Here we have Mr. Antifa in camouflage shorts, thinking he's ready for combat.
Someone's been arrested over here. We're going to come and have a look. Sorry. Yay! Sorry. Oh wait, they took him the wrong way. He definitely is Antifa. Very Antifa. Yes, being Antifa. Thank you, Fred. Oh, he looks like he's upset, the Antifa guy.
Move off this area, please! Move out of here!
Okay, well, we will comply. We are compliant. Let's get a close-up of Antifa. They're going to try and flank the Patriots, but this guy's, his weekend is now ruined. His weekend is ruined. They're all going down that way. There's lefties this way, mate.
The police line politely disagrees, giving him a quick reminder that resisting arrest is not a sport. He ends up pressed against a restaurant, red hair and all, learning that street protests are not about style points. Next up, we've got Mr. Beanie in sunglasses thinking he's smooth while chatting up a police officer like he's on a date.
Oh, sweet, we'll go sit instead. They're going to Plumstead Station. Waiting for you. In the van yet?
No, he's here.
They're going to Plumstead.
This one's waffling. This one's waffling.
Look at the state of it.
Get your hard drive checked.
That's all right, bro.
Oh, yes. Respect to you, sir. No problem.
No worries, that's all right. Thank you.
Cheers, brother.
That's what it's all about, respect me, man.
You see me, I learned that piss off, phone.
Meanwhile, his buddy in black is quietly getting led away, probably realizing that shouting doesn't make you invisible. The officers stay calm and our Antifa star learns that Plumstead Station is not a nightclub. Classic. Here, watch a trans activist get bullied by an interviewer into silence mid-sentence.
The reality of the situation is that trans women, not men, trans women and other trans people are not predators. The statistics show us over and over again that trans women are not predators.
But do you agree that not all cis men are predators?
Yes, of course.
So why don't we let cis men into women's spaces as well?
Again, this is a bad faith argument.
Why? Why can't you answer the question? Why is it a bad faith argument?
Still want to do this? Yeah, I am.
It is interesting how I'm having a perfectly fine debate here, but there's someone else coming around trying to convince them not to speak to me.
I'm done. This is a bad faith argument. You are not actually here to ask good questions. You are here to have bad faith straw man arguments. You're pathetic. This is a low bar. I expect more from journalists. It's a bad faith.
So you're now personally insulting me but can't answer any of my questions, but I'm the one who's got a bad faith argument?
I'm done now.
Okay, you done?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Do you have any last words?
You're good.
There you go. apparently I'm pathetic for asking very, I would say, reasonable questions about women's safety.
Their logic is basically, statistics don't matter, evidence doesn't matter, outcomes don't matter, and ideology is self-authenticating. You are required to believe the slogan even against the data, and if you ask questions, well, now you're the threat. Truth is only valid when it flatters the activist. Next, a protester tells white straight men to listen to women, then can't define what a woman is.
Message to straight white conservative men.
Listen to minorities, listen to women, listen to people who are trying to educate you. Don't live in ignorance just because it's easy.
What is a woman?
That sounds like a
You can't demand everyone listen to women when your movement has spent 5 years insisting nobody can define what a woman is. You built your entire argument on a category you refuse to even describe. Activism without definitions is literally just noise with merch. Then Patrick Bet David basically wins an entire ideology debate by saying, I used to work minimum wage.
Would you like to live off $7.25
I
an
used to
hour?
work for $4.25 at Haagen-Dazs.
Right.
Then I
And that
went
was
and
a very
worked
different
at
time.
Burger King for $4.75.
And how much do you make now?
Then I make millions today. Then
Right,
I
and
worked
that's
at
why
Bob's
you like
Big Boy.
capitalism, because we're not
No,
all making
but
that.
The
And that's
difference
my point.
is, but
a
the
millionaire
difference
is
between
critiquing
the
people in
no,
poverty
the difference.
and saying
My
you should
hope,
work harder. You should work. You know,
my
you can
hope,
be lean.
My
We can't
hope,
all be it.
My hope is that you believe you can change and improve. That you believe you can upgrade yourself. That's my
It's
belief.
very, you know what? That's what rich people like you want to keep telling us.
But
you
yeah,
can be
the
just like
difference-
me. Do you want to
yeah.
be like me? If you work hard enough,
I'm not
you can
saying
be like
that.
me.
I
It's
don't.
not
I don't.
very realistic.
It's actually you wouldn't be able to be like me because
You're
you wouldn't
talking
work that
down to
hard.
people like
Would
us.
you work that hard?
You don't.
Would you?
I'm not going to tell you. I don't have
Would-
to answer
would you-
that.
if you
I
don't
don't
choose
have to measure my I don't have to measure my work ethic to be worthy.
You don't have to. Then you can't be upset for others who do so.
This is the core conflict. Patrick loves capitalism because he actually used it. She hates capitalism because she wants the results without the grind. And her entire argument boils down to this. Success must be redistributed because she refuses to do what successful people did. This lady thinks Trump is literally the king of Venezuela, and CNN is allowed only for now.
What mainly are you protesting?
Just about everything he does. He's trying to take over. He's neutered Congress. He's made the courts kneel to him. He's, gosh, just about any subject you can get on. Taking health care away.
Taking healthcare away makes them a king, or is that like king? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, just trying to deny people subsidies that they had before to allow them to get health care, to take care of themselves and their family. It's just not what a first world country, the wealthiest country in the world, should do. We should be focusing more on that rather than doing what we're doing with Argentina and Venezuela, and we're trying to support them. That's killing the local farmers.
That sounds like a policy disagreement, whether we need to fund certain healthcare aspects and whatnot. It's not necessarily like fascist tendencies. You know, it's just a difference in opinion of the policy in healthcare. You know, I would agree with you in terms of they, suppress free speech, right? The ability to do that. I felt like the previous administration did that way more than the current administration did.
No, I don't feel that's the case. There's been a real move toward conservatives taking over radio stations, TV stations, and so I don't think, and not to mention AM state radio stations.
But left-leaning stations still exist, right, in America?
So far.
A king must be crowned in their imagination because otherwise they'd have to admit they're just disagreeing with normal policy. They need an evil monarchy to justify their own moral importance. Otherwise they're just voting, and that is not dramatic enough for TikTok activism. Take a look at this Portland masterpiece where Antifa meets reality.
Let's go to the lefty heartland of Portland, where for weeks now Antifa types have been protesting outside an immigration and custom enforcement facility, and it was all fun and games until it wasn't.
Make your feelings
Yep, they got so good. But this has to be the best moment out of Portland in recent weeks and involves the ratbag crowd of lefty agitators outside the ICE facility being told to obey the law, but listen to the voice giving the orders. This is superb.
Restricted area that may be subject to detention or to depart the restricted area. Thank you. This is the Federal Protective Service. The facility is closed and not open to the public. Stay out of the area of the driveway to allow for vehicular traffic. Remain on the sidewalk or across the street. Everyone must leave this restricted area and may be subject to detention or arrest for failing to depart the restricted area. Thank you.
It starts with a news anchor roasting the lefty heartland. Then the footage cuts to chaos, water spraying, people screaming, and a crowd discovering that consequences actually exist. Just when you think it can't get funnier, a voice sounding like Donald Trump orders them to leave. Coming up, we've got another masterpiece of Antifa chaos turned sidewalk drama.
I'm minor, bro. I'm minor. He punched me at 16. He punched me. I'm 16 years old and he punched me, bro. Shut up.
Yeah, you like, don't let
Yeah, but we don't know what to do. What's your name? I'm pressing charges for punching a minor.
All right, folks. Thank you, sir. Just give him a little privacy right now. Thank you. All right, just a little bit of privacy.
It starts with a masked hero getting manhandled to the ground like he owes the pavement rent. Handcuffs do what chanting never could, and the revolutionaries are politely escorted away while the crowd loses its mind. Here we have a woke activist trying to defend open borders and getting folded by one simple question.
Let's watch this because it's so funny.
Everyone who comes into this country should be American. I want to ask, if a random stranger, random homeless person walks into your house, are they now your family members?
The relevancy does not count in this.
Wait for it. Here's the reality. Every single person in here who advocates for open borders is hypocritical because I'm sure when you go to bed at night, you lock the door.
Here it comes. Open borders compared to an open home is completely different.
Just be intellectually consistent. Thank you.
She was ready to deliver a heartfelt speech until reality hit harder than Border Patrol. The second "lock your door" entered the chat, her argument collapsed faster than her logic. When common sense walks in, the woke talking points run for cover. Now for a classic Matt Walsh moment that left the woke crowd blinking in silence.
Let's watch this because it's so funny.
I'm transgender. I'm a mother. You've asserted no one would ever see me as a woman, and yet dozens of friends from diverse backgrounds, all respecting me as a woman. All of these people assure me I'm a woman. They'll tell me, girl, like, there is no way you are a man.
I don't believe I said that no one would ever see you as a woman. I mean, it's possible you could fool someone. You brought this up, so I have to tell you that you wouldn't fool me at all. I see a man 100%. And I think that most people would. The fact that you have people in your life who are saying to you, oh, you're totally a woman, it's exactly what I'm talking about. No one in my life has ever once said to me, you're totally a man, Matt. If a friend of mine called me on the phone and said, listen, Matt, I want you to know you're really a man, I would think that there was something wrong with him. The fact that this is a conversation to begin with, it only proves the point that I'm trying to make, that your identity, even in your own mind, is something that you need to be assured of.
A transgender activist tried to convince him that friends calling her girl made it official, and Matt answered with logic so clean it could cut glass. One calm sentence later, her confidence vanished faster than a pronoun chart at a job interview. Up next, a woke liberal walks up to the mic thinking he's about to deliver the sermon of the century.
So, I have two questions. My first one is, if Jesus fed people for free, taught people for free, and healed people for free, why don't we do the same?
Churches should.
Churches should? Okay. But why can't we do that on a more systemic level through government programs? Hey, maybe private companies private companies with all of their record profits. Why hasn't Elon put up some of his own private money to help end homelessness?
Because homelessness is not a money problem.
Homelessness? Tell that to homeless people then.
I have. I say, you know what? Almost every single one of them has either mental problems or drug disorders. It is not a matter of lack of capital. It's that they should either be in an asylum or they're doing hard drugs and they don't want to stop. We have homelessness.
The asylums that Ronald Reagan defunded?
He starts comparing Jesus' feeding of people to government handouts, because apparently miracles and taxes are now the same thing. One calm answer later, and he's already folding faster than his argument.
There are asylums that Ronald Reagan
if we want to talk about bringing back asylums, I'm all for that. I have an entire political party I would put in an asylum.
Okay, then we... All right, my second question is about Mahmoud Khalil. He was a legal immigrant with a green card, with a wife and a baby on the way, exercising his free speech rights. So my question is, if legal immigrants aren't safe, then who is?
American citizens.
But he is a green card holder here legally.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter?
Yes, he's not a U.S. citizen.
How does it not matter?
Read the Immigration Naturalization Act. What Mahmoud Khalil did was he went and protested, celebrating the death of Jewish babies, celebrating Hamas in Gaza, and under the Immigration Naturalization Act, it says very clear the Secretary of State can deem somebody who has a green card or a temporary visa holder as a threat to the United States of America and against our geopolitical interests, of which Mahmoud Khalil did and is, and he can go make Turkey great again and go back to his country of origin.
Then comes the knockout. The guy tries to play the victim card, and Charlie reminds him of what country he's actually in. The crowd cheers, logic wins, and our activist suddenly remembers he's late for feelings class. Next comes a prime example of Antifa logic in action.
That's not how doxing works.
I'm not going to.
That's a Nazi.
I'm not a Nazi. What are you doing, man? Hey!
Whoa!
You got a problem?
Yeah.
I'm standing here. I don't want to fight, man. I don't want to fight, man.
No. He attacked. This is self-defense. Whoa,
this was not. No, self-defense. I was doing, guys.
We have the whole thing on camera.
We're gonna check
out.
Yo. Listen to them lying. Listen to them all lying.
Yeah.
He got it.
I'm getting arrested. Yo, I'm bracing. Put your hands behind your back. Dude. I got you, fam. Hey, I'm gonna win this one for you. Thank you. I'm gonna win this one for you, dude.
Anti-terrorist arrested for assaulting Jack Posobiec.
Let him go. He's got a race to win, man.
He assaulted me.
This Antifa shoves the cameraman like he's starring in a low-budget action flick, then yells about self-defense like reality skipped his class. The cops show up, handcuffs ready, and suddenly the revolutionary finds out rules apply. Take a look at this chaos and smoke. We've got one brave soul in black thinking the ground is his stage, only to be surrounded by more cops than friends. Pepper spray, falls, and a face full of authority later, he's being lifted like a backpack with dreadlocks. Meanwhile, his friends scream like they just discovered fire, proving once again that yelling doesn't help when the cops are playing tag. Take a look at this one. A woke protester gets a front row seat to her own hypocrisy test and fails faster than a pop quiz.
Shut the up. That is hilarious.
He's an illegal immigrant from Mexico. We were wondering if you could support him financially or giving him the keys to your house. He's been in awful detention centers. Are you willing to help him out right now?
And I don't have cash.
Do you take Venmo? See.
I don't know what that is.
Check.
No.
Credit card? No. We could write down your credit card information.
I do feel for you, but...
She's all about helping immigrants until someone asks her to open her wallet or her front door. Suddenly, the generosity ends where her Venmo balance begins. Nothing exposes fake compassion faster than real-life responsibility. Now check this out. A campus activist tries turning gender into a guessing game and ends up getting schooled.
Woke city government in Seattle accidentally destroyed this woke woman's safe space.
It's never an easy decision to shut down a staple in the community, but the owner of Bebop Waffle Shop tells me what the estimated cost of doing...
The woke student demanded validation, but Caitlin served reality instead. One calm, "I'm not going to do it," shut the whole circus down. When feelings meet facts, the meltdown writes itself. Here's a good one. A woman with more common sense than every gender studies department combined steps up to roast the woke crowd with their own logic.
Woo! This woman is cooking right now.
Dear leftists, do you ever get tired of the hypocrisy? You say America is oppressive, but nobody ever leaves. You say capitalism is evil, but we know every one of y'all loves a good corporate pride sponsor for this year's Pride event. You believe in diversity, except when somebody is a LGBT or black conservative. You state that sexism is real, but gender is made up. That men are trash, but women are equal to men. You claim to support black lives, but refuse to acknowledge the fatherlessness in homes, cultural issues, and overall gang violence in black communities, in the black demographic. Y'all claim to love self-expression when it comes to, certain things like gender identity and the way you dress until somebody disagrees with you. By the way, free speech is a form of self-expression too. It's not just the way you want to express yourself in drag that day. Don't y'all get tired of being all the things that you say that you hate? The anti-science, the bullying, the hateful, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, racist comments consistently made on your side. Don't you ever get tired of it? I'm just asking.
She calls out every double standard they live by, from America is evil to corporate pride is stunning and brave. By the end, the only thing more burned than their arguments is their hypocrisy. Here we have a woke protester getting a reality check he didn't see coming.
Illegally. If America gets destroyed, I have a country to go, but what about you? Where are you going to go?
Unfortunately, nowhere, which is why
okay. What you're doing is just sheer waste of time. It calls for your contribution, my contribution to make this country great. But if you want to destroy it, I'm not going to allow that because I have my kids there that came here.
How are they destroying it? How are they?
Okay, one, they don't understand that today being a Saturday, there are people working. They should go and work, contribute to the economy of this country to make sure that this country become better. Yes. But they are here wasting time, bullshitting. They get everything for free, Medicaid, Medicare, EBT, and all that bullshit. Come to Africa, cash and carry. If you don't have money, you're not going to eat. You understand? You guys are here and you are just making noise for no reason. I mean, what kind of people is this? And you think all black people are stupid? It's not all of us who are stupid. I mean, America gives people the opportunity to fool too much. The stupidity is too much.
He's more than welcome to talk. I just don't want to trigger the...
I get it. Welcome over here. I'm sharing an idea. Not all black people who are stupid. There are some black people who use our head. You understand what I mean? I don't have to love Trump to love America. America is the greatest country on earth. I agree. So if you have people who always want to make noise and just misbehave as if there's a better place other than this country for them, they should wait till they...
Every sentence hits harder than their student loan debt. You get everything for free, then complain. And the best part? He's not even angry, just tired of the noise. A man who came here legally, worked hard, and still loves the country more than the people born in it. Beautiful chaos. Now check this out. A woke cafe owner creates a safe space for the community, only to have it shut down by her own woke city policies.
Woke city government in Seattle accidentally destroyed this woke woman's safe space.
It's never an easy decision to shut down a staple in the community, but the owner of Bebop Waffle Shop tells me what the estimated cost of doing business due to this minimum wage increase, closing her doors, was the only choice. Now, her dream comes to an end.
I've cried every day.
Karina tells me the final straw is the city's increasing minimum wage.
Just for me, the increase would cost me $32,000 more a year.
She says she's all for workers getting paid the most.
Especially after the election, I think the hardest thing that has really been for me to close is taking a safe space away from people.
So the minimum wage for this business, presumably, and others like it, was already over $17 an hour, and they raised it much higher, even further. Now, the irony here is that it's like a woke company, and yet her own government, in pursuit of its supposedly progressive ideology, destroyed her safe space.
You can't make this stuff up. She cheers for higher wages, then cries when the bill hits her. The same ideology she supported ends up closing her doors. It's like watching karma in real time, served with a side of cold waffles. Protesters didn't riot in LA, say these women, until shown literal pictures of a burning car and a guy doing donuts on a motorbike.
What do you think that he's done so far that makes him a king?
Supporting the National Guard to democratic cities, that is a complete abuse of federal power. Just putting the National Guard in LA, now they're trying to put them in Chicago. Like, the cities and the states did not request help from the federal government.
So the administration did that because people were attacking federal agents in those cities, in Portland, Chicago, and LA.
We actually just moved here from LA, So and we can were in confirm LA. that where the National Guard were in LA were 5 minutes away from us, and that was not happening. I also went to a protest where nobody was attacking any federal agents whatsoever.
Some of my friends who are journalists, former colleagues, were on the ground in LA during the riots. I mean, that's what they're calling them, when they were burning police cars.
Like we said, we've gone there. I don't think people dancing in a circle is exactly riots. I also don't I've been yet to see any riots personally with my own eyes, and any videos by legitimate.
Okay.
I've been yet to see that proof. I would love to see some proof of that, but if you want to show us those riots, I'm more than happy to see it.
Can I have your phone? Can you pull up X? But one of my good friends, Julio Rosas, was in LA. He's also
May?
Yeah, a few months ago here during the summer. Andy No is a good journalist who covers it a lot. I used to work with him, but
We actually don't have a bunch of time right now.
okay, that's fine too.
Apparently, fascism showed police stopping us from having a little car fire bonfire party. They scream peaceful protest until the reporter literally shows burning vehicles, and then they suddenly have a meeting to get to. Wild how the schedule clears when receipts come out. Final clip, a faculty member says speech is violence, while a man who is literally speaking.
I'm faculty here. I also support a protester in the back.
You think that speech is violence?
No, I think that
That's what that sign says.
the conversation that you're having is oppressive.
So
It
I am
contributes-
oppressing people by what I'm doing. I am exerting violence on people by my speech.
It
That's what the sign says, and that's what you just said.
To
And the
erase-
protester is saying that's exactly what I'm doing, and she's saying that's exactly what her sign means. So that means that you, a faculty member at an American public university, paid for by taxpayer dollars, are conflating speech with violence.
Yes. Speech can be violent. What you are saying contributes to systemic racism in this country. It means that my students of color are pulled over and accused of stealing a car when they did not.
I'm not pulling anybody over for stealing
I'm
any
not
cars.
saying that-
This is the foundation of liberal education. If you cannot understand that there is a difference between speech and violence, you don't understand anything that undergirds the liberal arts or liberal education.
I've been to art school for 8 years. I understand liberal arts extremely well.
Imagine going to university to hear a guest speaker, and a faculty member pops up to say that simply talking is violence. Not threats, not fists, just disagreeing. Professors used to teach how to debate. Now they teach how to emotionally melt in public. We've got an Antifa protester who thought peaceful protest now means smacking someone's bumper.
Embarrassed to mention it.
So, Corner talked to my partner.
Yeah, I did. I'm just getting some video for.
Well, if you're the one with the pepper spray, let's get.
Is your wife still over there? Yeah.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Have a fun trip.
Fast forward 10 seconds and they're sitting on the curb like it's halftime at their own pity parade. The officer strolls in, cuffs them gently, and boom, another revolutionary turned sidewalk philosopher. Guess that flag's waving surrender now. This time, Antifa thinks there's some tactical squad, dressed in all black like it's Halloween every day.
He's right here. Hey, bud, you come with me real quick? Yeah. He's gonna come with us. He's right here. That's up. You ready to come with us, bud? I'm not doing anything. We're gonna go get him. Get away. Stop falling. Stop. Hey, you take off running, you're gonna get charged with that.
Here comes Samuel Fawkes and Christopher Gillott, the heroes of the day, refusing a polite request to come along. Watch them struggle like a toddler who dropped his ice cream. Meanwhile, officers are calm, just doing their jobs while chaos theory plays out in real life.
Bring the units over here. Over here. I got it home. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Don't reach for that gun. You will get shot. Reach for that gun. Don't reach for that gun. Let go. Let go. Get up. Come here. Help! 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 Get the pistol. 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 Stand up. Stand up. Help! 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 Mark unit one. Mark unit one. Frank, come here. That's you. Help! Hold on, son. Let's get straight back here. Walking out the crowd. We got him? Yeah, we got him.
Asking for help in this case.
No, fine. We will take care of it later. Back up.
What does he need a medic
Back up.
What does he need a medic
Back up. Back up. Back up.
He's falling for a medic. What does he need a medic for? What does he need a medic for?
Megan Grant adds her dramatic flair, wrestling on the ground like it's a WWE match. Every punch, shout, and flail just reminds us how fragile the Antifa cosplay really is. The mugshots say it all. Revolutionary energy, zero results. And finally, here's a masterclass in how spitting on authority goes wrong.
It's not that hard to just not do stupid things. But when you do stupid things, there's gonna be consequences. Just ask this idiot right here. Watch.
Get out of our city! Get out of our city! Get out of here! Get out of our state!
Here we have a guy with glasses and a black cap thinking he's the main character, yelling, spitting, and acting like chaos is a personality trait. The cops, unimpressed, flatten him to the ground faster than his ego can recover. That's all for today's comedy special featuring the Antifa cast and their ongoing battle against logic. We've seen the flips, the flops, and the fast arrests, and somehow they still think they're winning. If irony had a fan club, these guys would be the founders. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe for more real-life slapstick from the world of organized confusion.